These are only minor sores, growing pains we'll ignore. Don't let this become all you have. These are only minor sores, growing pains we'll ignore. Don't let this become all you have, all you have.
Okay, welcome to another lesson of Lessons for My Grandkids. And in this lesson, I'm going to talk about setting up a drum kit so you can actually get around the kit. So, first off, everybody sets their drums up differently. Nobody has a certain way. Some people want their cymbals to be angled, some want them flat. Some need them high, some want them low. But when we talk about setting up a drum kit so that you can get around the kit, what you have to talk about is how you sit and how big you are. So for my grandkids now that are nice and small, you're going to sit differently than Poppy sits. Now, for me, what I have found is that I need my snare drum about the height of my thighs, and I want to have a little bit of an angle on my thighs. So if you're somebody setting up for the first time, you don't want to be sitting so high that you're up like this, but you don't want to be sitting so low that your knees are up like this, above where things are at. You also don't want your snare drum up so high that you're up here, and your hi-hat has to be somewhere else. Now, I know there are great players out there that actually do that. They do crazy stuff with the hi-hats up high. But what I'm talking about is generally starting out as a kid setting up a drum kit. Now, we all think this is cool. Let's turn the toms really crazy like that. And, you know, it just looks... But in actuality, those kind of angles might be kind of cool, but in actuality, they're not going to really help you to get your technique to where you need to be at. So what I have found for my toms is I want my toms to be at an angle that's a little bit angled in at me, but not flat. Like, I don't want it to be straight up flat like this, where I have to go up to get to it, but I don't want it too much of an angle. So a little bit angled in, finding the right spot, okay? And the other thing is, sometimes I'll pull it in a little bit, like this. You want to be able to get to each drum comfortably. Now, cymbals, another thing is there's different angles for cymbals. I would say if you want to get a nice crash out of it, you don't want it to be too straight up, but you also don't want it to be too straight down. If you're putting it down, it's usually because you're going to be hitting with the tip of the stick. And crash cymbals are usually hit with the shoulder of the stick. And you hit with a glancing blow. You don't want to hit on like this. If you're hitting straight on hard all the time, you will crack the cymbal. So it's a glancing blow. Keep that in mind when you're doing this, that you want to have that, you want to hit it in such a manner that you're not coming down on it like this. Another thing is the hi-hat. You want to have enough space to go over top. Now, you may grow up being a player that's open-handed. Today's kids, like I was talking in one of my lessons about traditional grip, well, your kids in your age group, my grandkids' age group, they're going to probably be learning to play open-handed. And if you've got left-handed writing capabilities, you might want to go open-handed, because open-handed allows you to do other things. Poppy doesn't really have that. That's not my thing. I really am messing with it, and I can play some basic beats, but I'm not an open-handed player. Because I'm not an open-handed player, I play my hand over. Now, playing my hand over means I have to leave enough space between the hi-hat cymbals and the snare drum to get the backbeat in. So, how you sit's important. You should have a little bit of an angle towards your knees. You should not be playing with your knee straight down like that or below. So you want to have a little bit of an angle to your legs when you sit. You want to have your cymbals at a nice comfortable level. Now the other thing is, as cool as it looks to reach up high, and if you've got a bigger kit, you're going to have to reach up higher, it's actually better to have your cymbals at a plane that's easy to get to. So that's another aspect. And when I don't have this tom, I like to have this cymbal lower. So having this cymbal lower where this tom is a better thing for me than not. But if you have the extra tom, then you're going to want to put this cymbal in a place you can get to it. Now some guys will put it lower next to their floor tom. So keep that in mind. But your snare drum needs to be in a place you can get a nice hit on the snare drum and still get a rim shot if you want one. So you want to be able to set up so you have a rim shot. You can get a rim shot on your snare drums. But you don't want to get necessarily rim shots on your toms unless you're trying to go for that effect. So the other thing is you want to have some movement. And movement around the kit is the next thing. You want to be able to move around the drums. You want to have everything in a comfortable position so that you can actually reach everything. So let's review the lesson on the drum kit. First off, you don't want your angles too high. You don't want your toms too high. You want everything at a height that you can naturally reach around. Okay? You don't want to hit your crash cymbals dead on. You want to hit them with a glancing blow. Glancing blow. Glancing blow. You also want to be able to reach things. To do chokes if you need to someday. And the other thing is your hi-hat. Let's talk about where we put the hi-hat. I like to sit so that my hi-hat is not too far out. So I don't want my hi-hat out here. You don't want to have your hi-hat way out here. I'm uncomfortable. My legs are spread apart. I want to bring my legs more close to my snare drum. So I'm more sitting naturally on the kit. Okay? Now my bass drum pedal, I want to be able to get a nice, seated nice, and be able to use my foot either up or down. And we're going to have a lesson on pedal technique soon, where we actually deal with playing flat-footed or toe and leg. So that's going to be a different lesson, but it should be taken into consideration when we talk about how we set up the drum kit. So let me just play a little groove and something, and just to show you what I mean about the getting around the kit. Okay, so in closing, setting up a drum kit should be simple. You should be comfortable at it. It should be at a height that you're comfortable at, so your feet touch the pedals. Your legs should not be spread out too wide. Your cymbals should not be too flat or too angled. The key here is you want to be able to hit your cymbals with a glancing blow. Okay, your ride cymbal should be in a place that you can easily reach it. And your tom should not be angled too high or down too low, just at a comfortable height so that you can get around the kit, and it's going to be what works for you. So it's about your body type. So your drum kit has to be set up to fit and work for you. And if you do that, you'll have a much easier time practicing and learning how to get around your own drum kit. So anyhow, those are some tips on how to set up a drum kit. I hope you enjoyed them, and thanks for watching. Bye.